So these are the materials that you're going to need for today's video. The first thing you're going to need is a couple of little brushes. The next thing is some paint, some red and some green, something that screams Christmas and Lil Debbie. And then you're going to need this little cute Christmas tree handle, some sublimation paper, some scissors. I got my MakerFlo scissors, of course, and then from MakerFlo, of course, this gorgeous 20-ounce glow-in-the-dark tumbler. So once you got all that, let's get into it. So now it's time to unbox our tumbler. So when you open up your tumbler, you are going to find, of course, inside your straw. And also now let's open up the actual tumbler. And inside your tumbler, you are going to find a care card, which is very important because you are going to want your customer to take very good care of their tumbler, of course. And now it is time to measure our tumbler because we want our sublimation print to fit pretty much exactly right to our tumbler. So let's take some measurements, and you already know I know exactly what my 20-ounce skinnies are. It is a 9.4 by 8.3. But before heading on over to my computer, what I like to do is I like to preheat my heat tumbler press, so that way when I'm all set doing all the detail work on the computer, I know it's ready to go into the press. So now I'm going to head over to Etsy.com, where I love to get a lot of my designs from. So let's download this super duper cute design. Well, actually, it gave me a bunch of cute Christmas designs that I can use, but for today, I'm just going to be using one that goes absolutely perfect with this Lil Debbie themed background. So once you got the design downloaded, it's time to head over to Inkscape. And this is my favorite application to use for sublimation because not only does it give beautiful prints, but the application is super duper easy to use. So once you get it on open, your pop-up screen, you're going to click on the next button to head on over to the following on the left where it says print. And then you're going to click on the US letter landscape, which is 8.5 by 11. So once it opens on up, we are going to head over to the top left where it says file, and we're going to import both of our designs. So once you locate what they are, I have mine in my downloads folder. We are going to import them directly into our application, and you can either drag them on in or you can click on them individually and open. And let me tell you guys, I did not know I could drag them on into very recently, and it is very quick and very helpful. So if you didn't know, now you know. So let's get both of those imported, and let's get time to resize them both. And you guys, I wanted a Lil Debbie before. Never mind seeing a blow-up screen right now of a full-on Lil Debbie. Look, just give me a Lil Debbie, dang it. But what we are now going to do is I'm going to want to get the Lil Debbie background sized up to fit the 9.4 by 8.3 dimensions that we previously recorded. Now that the Lil Debbie background is sized correctly and I got the design exactly where I want it to be, it's time to go to file and it's time to print this design out. But first, what I like to do is I like to double check, triple check. You guys already know I do all the triple checking over here. I go to my document properties, and that way I can see exactly the size and paper print that it is going to be printing out. That way I know I am not making a single mistake. So now let's go over to file, print, find the exact printer that you are going to be printing out on. And this is another double check that I like to do too. This is when once you click on your printer, you are then going to click on preferences. And this is where you can see exactly the size paper that is printing out on. And you are going to see where it is printing out from and your settings. That way you know you are making no mistakes. So now let's press print and let's watch my Epson F170 print this design out absolutely beautifully. If you are interested in doing sublimation or you are into sublimation, definitely pick up one of these printers because this is such an amazing printer, you guys. And pick up a pack of this paper because look how beautiful it prints out, you guys. I'm talking about the details, the vibrancy. I love it all. So now let's cut the design out and cut along that dotted line. You already know I say dotted line, but it is not a dotted line. It is an imaginary dotted line. So cut all around your design, making sure all that white is out. Because what we do all that measuring before is one, because we want a nice seamless design, and also we want our design to fit our tumbler as perfect as we can get it. So let me just show you guys how absolutely perfect these dimensions are and how flawless this is going to fit your tumbler. And can we appreciate how gorgeous it printed out? And look, you guys, it is meeting up like long lost cousins that are so happy to see each other. I mean, they just met up absolutely perfect. If you don't got one of these, you need to go and get yourself one off Amazon right this second. This tape dispenser is a lifesaver and a time saver, you guys. I mean, when I'm talking about, you are able to just spin this little knob and it cuts pre-cut pieces of tape for you. That way, you don't have to do all that snipping of tape as you are trying to hold your paper together and make sure it is nice and tight. Because with sublimation, you want your sublimation paper to be as tight as possible to your tumbler. And in order to do that, what I like to do is I like to get my first piece of tape, stick it to one side of my paper, and drag it on over to the other side. That way I know it is going to be nice and snug. And that's when I take another piece of tape, go to the opposite side of my tumbler, and do the exact same thing. And then that's when I make my way over to the center of my tumbler, putting one more piece going right across the tumbler. And then now, finally, I'm going to go straight up my tumbler with the tape, sealing in that seam, because what we like is a beautiful seam. So take your tape and go straight on up, making that seam nice and sealed. If you really think about it, this is what we're trying to do when we're doing this step. Is one, we are trying to get the paper nice and flat where it meets, and also we're trying to enclose this paper so that way the heat is being really distributed right into your design. That way you are getting a beautiful transfer. And I am here to tell you guys that after years of doing sublimation and starting off wasting so much sublimation tape, that you need very minimal tape when you are using your tumbler heat press. As you guys saw, you need a couple pieces of tape going across and a tape going right down your tumbler seam. As long as your tumbler and your paper are nice and snug to each other and your heat and temp are correct, you should be getting no ghosting. And now our heat tumbler press is definitely heated up and it is set to 365 degrees, and we are doing it for 60 seconds. So let's insert the tumbler and let the timer go. How can I do sublimation without my heat resistant MakerFlo gloves? So once the timer dings, it is time to open it up, and it is hot. Why didn't I get my other glove? But let's rotate our tumbler and press it down again for another 60 seconds. What I like to do now to ensure that there is no ghosting on my tumbler is I like to press the top and the bottom of my tumbler for an additional 10 seconds. So once you let your tumbler cool off completely, I mean, I was too impatient to let it cool off, because how could I let this cool off when I am so excited to see what is underneath? So here I am, taking off the tape. Some people like to use that little weeding tool, but I have had times when I have used my weeding tool and I have scratched the actual tumbler after doing all this. And baby, no way am I ruining my tumbler after doing all this work. So that's why I use my hands, my fingers, my good fingers. You know, you already know my good fingers, to take off the sublimation tape. And look, you guys, how absolutely gorgeous it came out. Like, look at the vibrancy, look at the details, look at this little Debbie that I just want to eat. I mean, like, gimme, gimme, gimme. But we have to move on to the next step. So let's move on to the next step. So now it is time to do the tumbler handle, and let's shake this paint up. And you already know what is going on when I am shaking this paint up. So let's take my red and my green paint, and tell me not, it is just screaming Christmas. And you guys, I am so excited for Christmas. I don't know about you guys, but I am so excited for Christmas. Like, I just want to sing all the Christmas carols. So let's dip our little paintbrush very slightly, and I didn't even pour the paint because I want a very little bit. Very, very, very little bit. And I am going to mimic the Lil Debbie. So pretty much doing these little swirls, going in opposite directions, going all the way down. I'm going all the way down the Christmas tree handle. I'm going on the back side. I am doing the sides, the bottom. Make sure you get it covered completely with these little red swirls. And go at your own pace. Just because somebody is a Speedy Gonzalez and finishes first does not mean, one, it is the best, or two, they are getting a prize. So do not stress if somebody is doing it quicker, and take your time, because at the end of the day, we all move at different paces. Because don't be that person trying to rub in people's faces like, look at me, I just made this and this and this, and look how many cups I made, and I made this. Like, okay, good for you, but I am doing me, and I am moving at my own pace, so mind your P's and your Q's. And to get the sides exactly right, that's when I follow where I use for the front and drag it onto the side. That way, it is pretty much looking pretty seamless, if you ask me. I don't know about you, but it is looking pretty seamless, and it is looking like a Little Debbie that I want to eat. But I mean, I don't know the material of this, but I'm pretty sure it is not edible. And make sure you are covering every angle of your Little Debbie tree handle. Just because you can't see it in one angle does not mean you can't see in a different angle. So get every angle, every spot. Don't be lazy. Like I said, move at your own pace. You are not in a race. I mean, if there is only one Little Debbie left in the box, yeah, maybe we are in a race, because you better stop what you are doing and go get that Little Debbie before somebody else takes it. But, if when it comes to creating, baby, there is no rushing the magic, okay? So now it is time to create those little green sprinkles. So now you are going to dip your paintbrush ever so slightly into your green, and that's when we are going to dab very little bit here, there, everywhere, very slightly onto our tree handle to create those little sprinkles. And there is no rhyme or rhythm to create how many or where you are putting. Just make sure you are filling your handle up with these cute little green sprinkles. And you guys, look, as I am creating and painting on these green sprinkles, tell me not, it is looking yummier and yummier by the second. I want to see a show of hands how many love Lil Debbie's, because at this point, I'm ordering a box of Lil Debbie's when I'm finished watching all this, because I am craving one now. Because how can you not be? So now that we got our tumbler sublimated and we have our tumbler handle fully painted and ready to stick on our tumbler, it is now time to take some UV resin and stick this beautiful handle onto our tumbler. But first, what I'm going to do is make sure I'm putting it in a position where I'm going to like it. And I think where I'm going to want it is where the decal shows right up front when I'm holding the tumbler handle in my hand. So once you know exactly where you're going to want it, you are going to then go and grab your UV curer. And I swear, y'all, if y'all go and tell my man I took his nail curer, it is over with. I'm ending my YouTube channel. It's done with, because I took his curer and I did not tell him, because why would I tell him? It is a multi-use. It is a nail cure. It is a crafting cure. So he can mind his P's and Q's, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of UV resin to the top and the bottom section of my tumbler handle so then I can stick it on to my tumbler. And as steady as you can be, hold your handle to your tumbler and make sure you are carrying it for a full 60 seconds. And now that our handle is on our tumbler, it is now time to epoxy. So you already know I am using my favorite Diamond Magic, and look how absolutely gorgeous Diamond Magic is. It is diamonds, it is magic, it is what you need. I tell you, a little pinch goes a long way. It sure does. So make sure you go very little bit, because if you always want to add more, you always can. And if you guys know me, I use Diamond Magic on literally every tumbler, you guys. And this is why, because look at the effect it brings to your tumbler. I mean, there is no explanation for this. Like, look up Diamond Magic. There is no definition, but what the definition is, I'm going to tell you. It is literally diamonds and magic. See, I'm telling you, there's no definition besides the fact that it gives that diamond magic effect. Literally, there's no other words for it. I mean, look how gorgeous it is, you guys. If you guys don't have some, make sure you guys head over to Myra Makes It and use code ShawneeShop to save you some money, honey, because she has a ton of bunch of glitter. So when you are shopping for Diamond Magic, just know you are not just going to check out with Diamond Magic. You are going to be checking out with a ton of glitter, because there is no way you are going in for one and leaving with only that one. And now would you look at that? Look at that Diamond Magic effect, you guys. It is already glistening, and the handle is already doing its dang job, looking gorgeous as heck. And voila, you guys, here is the finished product, and look how gorgeous it is, you guys. And exactly like it says, I don't know, I am torn between looking like a snack or eating one. Is big facts, you guys. And of course, you guys know me over here at Shawnee Shop. It is not a Shawnee Shop video without giving you guys the close-ups and the receipts of every angle, because without that, without you, you are a dang liar. From the cute, adorable Lil Debbie handle to the details of this tumbler, I am absolutely obsessed. And look at the Diamond Magic just doing its dang thing, you guys. I mean, it is glistening, and it just is the perfect finishing touch for every tumbler. If you guys didn't want a Lil Debbie before, I bet you want one now. I mean, can we just give this Diamond Magic a close-up in center stage? Honestly, you guys, I blew my mind away with the handle. It came out exactly what I envisioned. And here is one of the coolest parts of the tumbler, the glow in the dark effect. And look how shining bright it is, you guys. I swear, it is like a flashlight, but a tumbler, but a Lil Debbie. I mean, it is a flashlight Lil Debbie tumbler at this point. But all I know is I am absolutely obsessed. But you guys, video is not doing it justice, so let me show you guys a picture that I snapped of it. I hope you guys love this tumbler as much as I loved creating it. Let me know what you guys would like to see next time, and like always, slay the day every day. Shawnee out. Mwah.